I was getting so many downloads this morning. I got an overload. My brain was like, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. I wasn't ready. It was a bunch going on. It's all types of things. But the most recent one that I just got like just now, first of all, I had a funny thought about how when the soul gets naked, but that's just basically when your soul departs from your body. But I was thinking about how at that point your soul is naked, and it doesn't care if it's naked. It's actually peaceful in nakedness. That's like, I just made something really dark not so bad, right? Because everybody looks at like the end as so dark, but that is like, it's understandable, isn't it? I mean, because we all go to a place one day that is far beyond where we are right now on this earth realm. And it's okay, because honestly, this is not our first time reincarnating, but you know, people just make it so scary when they talk about the D word, right? They make it so scary. But from my own experience, why is my light flickering like that? Anyway, from my own experience, having dreams about my past lives, and one of them was very significant because I felt myself alive, and then I recognized that I was no longer attached to my vessel, and I was a soul. And it felt very peaceful, and I felt like so light. I felt very light. And I told you guys a story before. I was a little white girl, and I'm just gonna say it again just so you can remember. But it's funny because the jacket that the little girl had on and the hat, I actually have it. And I already had it before the dream. But it's like, whatever. I have the jacket, and when I do wear it, or it's a coat really, when I do wear it, I'll show you, and I'll remind you of this video, or this dream that I had. But me and my brother was in the back seat, and our parents were in the front seat. My father was driving, and my mom was in the passenger side in the front, and they were talking. And I was just looking out the window, but Spirit put me in the eyes of my brother, and he was just looking over at me. He was looking at me, looking out the window. I wasn't looking at him, but I had curly blonde locks, and I know it was me because Spirit tells me it was me. It told me it was me. I always know because I go by my feelings and what they tell me. Sometimes they'll show me people I don't know, and they'll give me names, and they'll tell me who they are. But anyway, I just knew that was me. But I should have asked what my name was, but I didn't ask. Usually I do, but I didn't because I was so, like, in the moment that I was just wanting to know what was next. So then my being jumped from the eyes of my brother to myself, which was a little girl looking out the window. But I could tell my brother was a little older than me, and I was younger. And I was looking out the window. It was like, we were on top of a mountain, and it was snowing, but it looked very dangerous. It was just very dangerous, and the road was icy. And I remember hearing my parents talk, saying that, you know, maybe this wasn't a good day to go on here. And then they were like, yeah, it's icy, but we'll be fine. We've done this before. But that time it didn't work out, and all of a sudden everything, like, well, not at that point. We basically began to fall off of the cliff of the mountain. And I didn't even really have enough time to feel scared because it happened so fast. And then all of a sudden the next scene was me feeling extra light, and I was floating up from under the bridge out of the water. But I don't remember what happened, you know, at the point from when I knew the car was about to fall into the water. I want to say it was a river, but that's how it felt. But it was a different country. That was not over here, because you could tell by the terrain how it looked. It didn't look like over here. And I fell, or we fell into the water. I know we did. We had to, because when I came out the water, I was just a soul. And I didn't see my family. I didn't see the car. I just saw the bridge and me floating up, like how a balloon floats up to the sky. But I couldn't. I was trying to get back down to my family. I was like, no, wait, my family. But I was saying that my consciousness was speaking, but I didn't hear myself because I was a soul. So then I was like, oh, I must have passed on. And then I just allowed myself to float up. I wasn't fighting it, even though I couldn't fight it. I thought I was going somewhere, but I was just going up, you know. And then I felt like this immense peace come over me. And then the dream ended. So that was one of my past lives. And Spirit told me that that was one of my past lives, right? And so I was just thinking about how can I say this? What else was I? Hold on, I'm trying to get back to. Okay, so right after that thought of a soul being naked and being free, and think about it. Many of you, I don't know, I'm about to say something crazy, but when you're within your own self, we could say nakedness like just no clothes on, yes, because that's free. You feel free, you feel comfortable, whatever. But also, when you are naked from like an emotional level, you also feel very free. When you don't feel bad for being honest. That's a very freeing place to be. And it is a space that many people are very uncomfortable with. Right? So, then I started thinking about money, power, respect. That song, you know, money, power, respect, what you need in life, you'll see the light. It's the key to life. Money, power, respect. Okay? I was thinking about that. Then I was thinking about how peaceful I felt as a soul. I tapped into the peace of the soul. The peace that, because the soul does not worry about anything. There's nothing to worry about. You have no worries. When you are just within your consciousness. And our consciousness does not end when we leave from here. That's the thing. The journey goes on. That's why you'll see some people that have this knowledge and you're like, where did that come from? It came from past lives. Like a library that stays with the consciousness. Okay? Okay. Now, hold on. I'm trying to catch all these waves because I was thinking all this. Well, this is at least one download and it's jam-packed. But hold on. Let me get where I was at. Okay. One of the keys to life is to feel the peace of the soul while living in chaos. Okay? I don't know if I'm going to use tarot in this because I find comfort in messing with them as I speak. I told you guys that's a comfort thing. But the key to life is to find the peace of the soul while living in chaos. When you are able to do that, you reap rewards that you didn't even know could be yours. Okay. You'll find gifts within yourself that you didn't even know were possible for someone like you. You know, sometimes you think of yourself like, excuse me, that would never be for me because I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I would never do that. And the things that you say you would never do, you don't even know if that's the plan for you. The things that you don't want to do even, you will never know if God feels as though that's the plan for you. And you will never know how much you actually enjoy that thing if you don't get to the point of recognizing that that is actually for you. A lot of times we see ourselves in like one way, as if we're one-dimensional people. Oh my gosh, that is so unreal. I sounded real. Y'all know what I sounded like. But it is unreal. It's like, come on. Look at us. Just look at yourself. You know you. You know that you have a lot going on within you. You know that you have a lot to share. It's just that you don't share it because you're fearful of what people will say. But that's the worst fear to have, because when you are who you are, just because you want to be, and you feel like being naked, you know, with your emotions, everyone that's supposed to be in your life, they will come. They will be magnetized to you. And then, instead of you being around a bunch of foes that you don't even like, and that you feel like don't like you, you begin to attract those who love you, and you love them too. And you collaborate with them. And it's just a big, happy, wonderful experience. Because you're around people that understand you for you, and they don't judge you for being who you are. That is living. That is peace. There's a peace there. Of course, don't drop your guard completely and think everybody's cool like that, because they're not cool like that. Everybody not cool like that. However, there are some that are cool like that for real. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? You just have to use your discernment. Okay, you have to use your discernment. But yeah, the key here throughout everything that I just said is to truly feel the peace of your soul while on earth. That is heaven on earth. That is what that is. That's the definition. The key to the peace on earth is heaven on earth. That's you realizing that many things that you worry about are so insignificant. And many of you waste your time thinking about things that don't serve you at all. They don't serve you, but you just thinking about it all the time. One thing that I could say that many people think about all the time is acquiring a certain level of abundance financially. That right there can run your whole life, and it's really messed up. Even though we need money, don't get me wrong, it's good. But the thing is, I think the key here with the financial abundance is to have it create a system to where it's just coming to you automatically after you put some work in one time. Once you can figure that out, that's the key. And this is what I'm trying to figure out now myself, honestly. I'm in this mode of figuring out the systems to get things running on their own. And this has always been in my mind since young. I was always reading something, always, learning something, and always wanting to know things. And I have found throughout time, there's so many courses I've purchased, so many things, but it was like now the pieces are beginning to come together from everything that I learned are coming together now, because everything was so separate, but now everything that I've learned over time is becoming one. It's becoming a union. So it's like I'm starting to understand things that I didn't really understand before. I was just learning a bunch of different things. The key to your peace is to create something one time and let it work for you. When you do that, that's where financial freedom is at. Once you create that and you build it. Once you build it and it's like something that is needed in the lives of others, then it sells itself, Because we're not supposed to be working this hard. We're not supposed to be in a state of fear and in a state of feeling like you don't have enough. And this is not our way. This is not the way of the truth of our lineage. We're not meant to be this way. So that's why oftentimes you can feel so separated from yourself, because you're not living in your own authenticity of your bloodline. You know what I mean? Something distracted me. But yeah. What else do I want to say about this? Hold on, I'm looking for a thing. Is that all that I want to say? What is your peace? What makes you feel peaceful? Something that you do. What makes you feel at peace? What makes you feel at peace? Anything? Oh, please don't say nothing. Gotta find something. Even if it's looking outside at the butterflies fly. Say something. Don't say nothing. Say something so that you can know what it is, so you could go do that thing, whatever it is. Because it gives you comfort, And I always think about the fact that how much energy you have from peace for war or for chaos or for conflict. When you are at peace most times and then conflict comes, you can handle it in a very coherent way. Like You won't feel like you're not ready. That state of peace makes you think more. You're more mindful. So it's easier for you to think clearly when you make decisions. But you can't do that if you have many things that you're angry about all at once that you didn't deal with. And then when something, challenging happens, you still tripping from everything else that you can't even deal with the new thing because you didn't deal with the other things. So that's what I'm talking about when I say that's why peace is so important. You must find your peace, because if you don't have peace on a regular, if you don't find a way to have peace, and then the challenges come, you're going to fold. You're going to fold. Just like one of them chairs, like the folding chair, you're going to fold. The one that them people bust that person over the head with. You remember that? Just like that. I mean, as long as you the one with the chair, and somebody not coming at you with the chair is cool. But if you got the chair, that means that the ancestors, you tapped in to them and you got the chair. So then you the one doing the whopping. You the one doing the whopping. You the one with the takedown energy. I'm gonna take you down. Okay? Oh, the smackdown. Who used to say that? Stone Cold Steve Austin? Is he? Or was it The Rock? I don't know. Somebody in wrestling used to say SmackDown. I'm just remembering SmackDown. If y'all know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Yeah, that's funny. So, what is the lesson that you've learned from this download that Spirit gave me to give to you? Put it in the comments. Help your brothers and your sisters out. Maybe you think about something that they're not thinking about. Did that rhyme? I did it again. I didn't mean to. But help your brothers and sisters out. Help them to think about something that they're not thinking about. When you share your knowledge and your understanding of things, you help people. But some of you feel like maybe what you say is not helpful. But you don't realize that the experiences that you have are very helpful to so many people that you don't even know. They across the world somewhere. And you can help. You can help them. You can help them just with a couple of words. You know how beautiful that is? You know how, I want to say dharmatic. I think I just made up a word, y'all. I mean, words have to be made up anyway, right? Even though it's not in the dictionary, don't mean it's not real, because the words had to be made up some way. Adam, he was like, oh, that's a frog, that's grass, that's a tree. Like, come on. So we out here making up stuff. So let's just keep doing it. Let's make our own dictionary. Let's make our own dictionary. Is that all, Spirit? Anything else you want me to say? I feel like I want to get a chime. Oops. Uh-oh. Almost dropped it. Okay. Let me get a chime. Oh, it slips. Kisses, kisses, kisses. When I say kisses, 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 I thought about like a song. Is that a nursery rhyme? I can't even catch the words. Something, something, something. I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, yo, ladle I shall play. Oh, ladle, ladle, ladle. I don't know. That just came out of nowhere. But maybe that means something to some of you. I have no idea. But it came to me. But this is kisses. Kiss yourself. I love you, self. Just tell yourself I love yourself. I love you. And nobody else can take your place, self. I love you. I love you. I love you. Tell yourself that you love yourself. Look in the mirror. And just be obsessed with you. Just love yourself, man. That's the best thing you could do. When you love yourself, you never know what can come through for you. Like, you know, because people will see you for you and recognize that you're beautiful. You know, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. And then you don't have any problem recognizing somebody else's beauty and talent without feeling like threatened. It's like you see somebody doing something, you're like, oh, that's cool. You know how to do that? You know? It's like you when you love yourself so much, you could love somebody else for what they do. Like, how you even figure that out? You know, you could really, and then, you know, you can learn from them. It don't always have to be a competition. Gotta stop making bad decisions. It's getting played out, isn't it? It is. But yeah, tap into that soul, because it's very old. You can catch them ancient scrolls and tell them what you know. My vibe is hot. My vibe is hot. I rhyme slow. Ready, set, let's go. I'm gonna stop this show. I'll be back at the next episode.